It's like a foot of frost. Let's go.
Good.
Can't even go a day without breaking something. This is a giant kickoff to 2025 improvements on the farm. It's the day after NWTF, talking to everyone all weekend. I've lost my voice. I promise I'm not sick. But we got a skid steer for the next little bit. Just picked it up today, and we're kicking off just some big projects. First off being just crossings. Access across the farm is not ideal. It's very tough to even get the Can-Am around to certain places. So we got a couple big creek crossings that we're gonna bust out. It's snowing right now. This week's gonna be kind of terrible, but it's gonna warm up soon. We got a brush mower too, just to get some trails and just to get foundationally things set up. We've been running feeders. We've been feeding the deer because there's not a lot of food on this farm right now too. So we got some corn we're gonna put out today. About 50% of the bucks have probably shed, but still a couple of our big deer are still holding. One in particular, Moose, we're calling him. He's still holding. Like every day we're getting photos of him. So I really wanna find those sheds. So we're just keeping the deer fed. February deer chores is kind of what we're doing right now. The next month is just gonna be access, kind of fine tuning a couple little things, maybe busting out just a couple things with the mower, but we're gonna get this bad girl unloaded and get after it today, see how much we can get done. Man, when I put this skid steer on, I went it too hot and just boom on the trailer. Nice and warm in here. So this is the infamous 6x4 crossing. We're up in that tree right there, and Jake and I all went down. This crossing, it'll be pretty easy. We just need to dish this all out, make it easier. And honestly, I would love to be able to eventually take a truck, just be able to cross it. But the rest of it going up in there's a little hidden food plot right up in there. It'll be fine. So this is kind of step number one, an easy one, easier one. I say all these projects are gonna be easy. They're probably gonna be terrible. But I don't know if we're gonna keep the stand in this tree or move it over there, or maybe even this big one, but this tree right now, we're gonna say, this is it. So we're gonna really make it really convenient for one, the deer, and two, for us, just for access throughout the property, starting with this crossing. So breaking ground, the first thing any improvements of anything we have ever done to this piece of property. It's kind of cool. It starts with the creek crossing that the 6x4 came up on. So see if we can't mess some stuff up. We might have underestimated the frost. It's like a foot of frost. Oh. Can't even go a day without breaking something. It like cut the RPMs in half.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it sounded like, is that like closer?
Put it like in limp mode. Great thing we can get back across. That's tough. Let's see if we can just... Nothing now. Yeah. Huh. We'll try it. what is that, like 6 hours, 5 hours? Got us a nice creek crossing now. It's still frozen, which is making it tough to feather out, so we got this thing for a while, so we'll come back and touch it up.
I don't know if this is gonna work or not, but we're gonna try. We ended up breaking the last one, or it threw a code, so they swapped it out, but it's like 2 sizes smaller than the other Kubota we got. So it's the tracks, the whole thing's just a mess. Just go easy, don't stop when you think it's gonna not be good. So I think for our creek crossing situation, this thing's a POS. It's not a POS. The size, we need a bigger size. So I think we're gonna try to swap it out this week with something else that makes sense to finish the project, because we need to finish the project, the creek crossing projects, so that we can access the farm and get to clearing cedars and TSI and all this other stuff. Because right now you gotta like hike in, and we need to get some equipment back there to deal with the cedars. Regardless, we got the mower on this bad girl. We'll see if she can handle it. I think the mower will be fine. But this is Destiny food plot. Destiny tree is right up over there. That's where we had the awesome encounter with Rookie, literally right here. Bunch of other good deer. Shot 6x4 just up over this ridge at that creek crossing that we busted out the first day. So really key spot on the farm is Destiny food plot and Destiny tree. But RIP to Destiny tree, because last year we just got winded too much and our wind was too swirly and nasty. We got this big ridge right here, and I think the wind, we were sitting here like with a west wind, and it barrel over that and then just kind of spin all around here. So we're gonna move about 40-50 yards over to this tree right here, and right on the edge of a big ditch. Our wind will be more consistent, I think, and I hope, but we're at least off to the side of the food plot instead of kind of in the middle. We're on the tail end side, but we're still right in the middle, and it was just going like this. So love that tree. It is the absolute perfect tree to sit in, but it's not in the right spot. And I've already kind of thought about, can we box it out, move stuff around, and it's just, I think it's just the way the terrain is, it just makes it a nasty spot for the wind. So we're gonna bump it over here, kind of a medium oak tree, it'll be fine. But what we're gonna do is there's about 10 yards right here that we're going to bust out. It's nasty, multiflora rows, just a bunch of nastiness. So we're gonna make this kind of more of a circle right here for that stand. And a lot of deer flew up out of this bottom, so if we can make it easier for them to come up out of this bottom, that bedding area, and just kind of make it like a, not like a teardrop, but kind of like a teardrop right in here. Probably move that scrape post a little bit closer, maybe even like right here-ish area. So we're gonna jump in, we'll just kind of bust it out. We'll have to get in here with the chainsaw and cut these down, drag them out the way. But we don't necessarily have to do that today. I just wanna, well, we got this skid steer because we might swap it out for a Mini X. I'm just gonna bust it out. Break. it came out how I was thinking, I think. Refilling the feeders. It's end of February. I think this is the 4th time we refilled these. I got 2 1,200-pound feeders that I put out right after muzzleloader season. Just trying to keep these deer fed, to keep them around, to find some sheds, and just to keep the deer fed, because like we've talked about on this farm, my farm, it's brand new. There is pretty much zero planted food right now. So all of the deer would have completely left and went on the neighbors and dropped their sheds over there. So we've been feeding them pretty heavy. They're empty. There's 2 bucks that I really want to find their sheds on that are still holding. A lot of them have already dropped, but one deer is a no-name deer. It's like a 10-pointer, probably 4-year-old, and then Moose, which is our big, heavy 8-point, also a 4-year-old. He's still holding, which is crazy that it's nearly March. It's February 25, 4, something like that, 24, which isn't too crazy, but we're gonna get these filled up and then we'll go do the other one, put a couple cameras out and we'll be good. No corn. For feeders, or really like a big community scrape or somewhere deep in the woods, I always love running solar panels. Moultrie has these giant big dogs. This is probably the biggest solar panel I've ever used, so I'm very excited to see how battery life runs on this. And then a lithium pack, so lithium pack plus a solar panel, obviously plus a trail camera. You should be able to let them sit for a very, very long time. Okay, you always want to put solar panels south facing, especially in the wintertime when the sun's super low. So this should get a ton of charge because there's really nothing in the way. We might have to stand on the roof though.
February 28th, last day of February, and we got a crew out with us today on the farm. We're gonna do a big sweep, do a big shed hunt. You got one? Heck yeah. Is it big? Oh.
Yeah, there's the smallest.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Those are the 2 that Quinn had laying on top of each other.
Really?
Yeah, they're different deer.
Any, hey!
There he is.
Let's go.
Skid. Hell yeah.
Right on.
What's that tat? I think that's a match, or are those 2 different? Let me see those.
2 different.
That was the deer that you were up on top, yeah.
This might be saggy.
Dude, he's so fine with that. Thank you. I heard you guys are kind of struggling.
March 19th, we're out on the farm today, just chipping away at our ginormous chore list. We got ourselves a mini excavator. They traded us out for the skid steer that we had because it was having some problems. So the rental company was fortunate, or nice enough to switch it out. And we've done 9 creek crossings so far in the last 2 or 3 weeks. Pretty big workload. It was a pretty steep task. Some of them were pretty big, took most of a day, some of them to do. Most of them were like 1 or 2 hours to do. We got one of our buddies skid steers down here too, just cleaning up a couple fields that we're going to be putting some warm season grasses in, which we'll talk about later when that whole process goes. But we got warm season grasses, a couple switch grass screens going in, and then also just cleaning up some fields for putting in corn and beans. So we've done a little bit with this, with ripping out black locust. There's a bunch of black locust on this place, so ripping that out in the fields and field edges and stuff. But what we're going to do right now is we're in Destiny plot, and I haven't frost seeded at all yet. I'm a little bit behind, but the next couple days we got a chance of snow. It's going to get down in the 20s and 30s, which is good. You just want to put the seed down and then still have a little bit of time for it to freeze and kind of work into the soil. Ideally, the very last snow, you put it on top of the snow, and then as it melts and kind of works in, it gets really good germination. But I think I'm going to turn Destiny plot into clover. So we're going to frost seed that. I bumped it out the other day. Jake was filming that. So we're going to frost seed in that. But before we do that, I'm going to take the mini X over there, pull a couple of those trees out. We're going to leave a couple, maybe 1 or 2 little oaks right there, but the rest are kind of junk trees. So we're going to pull those out, pull the roots out too, so that we get don't get the planter messed up. I might even bust some of these locusts out in the middle. But we're going to frost seed that. We're going to frost seed a little bit around, I call this a 6x4 crossing now, right where we shot the 6x4. I'm going to frost seed just a little bit around that, kind of to help with erosion. And we're going to plant a grass mixture on a lot of the crossings for erosion and all that fun stuff. I hope you guys are enjoying this farm series, because we sure are having a lot of fun riding in these. Kubota sponsor me, because your guys' stuff is awesome. All right, well, I'm gonna go over there and pull some trees. Also, this has been clutch. Check it out, Bureau Custom. It's not too bad. You think clover will grow in that? Maybe. I stacked a bunch of brush, just kind of 10 yards on each side of the stand behind it, just to kind of help detour the deer to not want to be right under our stand or right behind us. So hopefully, you know, they'll whip on a trail over here or come up right out of the bottom over here. So it's little things like that when you got extra brush or whatever to kind of pile up to manipulate the deer instead of just putting it somewhere random. It's chilly. It's getting cold and nasty, which is good for frost seeding. Hopefully it freezes tonight, but do a little bit right here and then just all where we cleaned up. Check up on our projects. We did get a big rain, so we're going to see if all of our crossings and everything held up. 6x4 was standing right here when I killed him out of that stand, and now we got a beautiful creek crossing right here that we'll be able to get tractors, side-by-sides. You could probably even get a truck through it, but this whole field's going to be planted corn or beans along with brassicas. We're going to do green to grain, literally draw a line right in front of the stand right here. So it'll be planted all the way up kind of to the edge of this crossing. However, this is one of our main crossings that opens up to the whole farm. So we put a little bit of extra effort in, got gravel down, got it all worked out correctly. I had to come back like 3 different times as
we got rain and everything else, but we're good. We had one serious rain. Everything's stood up and looking really nice for one of our main access points on the whole farm. The 6x4 crossing, we're calling it. The famous Peg Oak crossing. I got stuck in here once with the side-by-side. It was very gnarly to get through it. We did get through it a couple times, but came in here. It's kind of a poor man's crossing. Just buffed it out a little bit, sloped it down, and then put some rock down. And it's not a flowing creek or anything, but it's just overflow from these drainages. So when it fills up, it just kind of runs over it. Like we got a little bit of pool water here, but then the creek dries up there. So it's just when it rains. But now we got access to the big timber, which is great. We got Peg Oak tree stand right there that we sat in a few times last year. Great spot. We're gonna throw a camera right here just to see if any turkeys are coming through. Another crossing.
She's back up. It's full, but
Another big creek crossing right here. This one actually took a little bit of work. I got one of my buddies came out and helped me do it with the bigger excavator, but it kind of washed away a little bit. We kind of took a risk on it because it's not a flowing creek, but it does have a little bit of, or a decent amount from just when it rains, it fills up. So I had to come back and touch it up with a skid steer, put some rock down, but it's been fine after these couple rains, so it should be good for now on. But I put all this gravel down, and then I just put a little trickle spot for it right there, and it's working. We are at a spot we call Double Trouble because we kind of got two little food plots side by side, but connecting them was just this nasty ditch. I mean, I could barely get through the side by side right here, so busted it out. We got a crossing that we can drive a tractor through when we plant our top fields, and we'll be good to go. And then we got another one right over here. This was a big project. This is probably the biggest project we've accomplished so far. Had to bust out a lot. Had one of my friends come down and help with it. And then I cleaned it up with the skid steer a little bit, but we didn't have big access for a pickup truck or a tractor to get up on these top fields. So we had to get something big in here. It's nearly 20 feet wide probably, but put stone down, and we're actually going to put a stand right in here because anytime you do something like this, it just creates a highway for deer and a natural pinch point. So we got a little kill plot that we'll put up here, put a stand there, perfect for a south wind, and our access now is really, really great. So I actually want to check out this stone because we did get a big rain and tons of turkey tracks here. But the deer are cutting through. I think they're cutting through right here. So I'll have to stack up some stuff and block them, especially if we put a stand right there. I didn't make this one super pretty because literally right when I was right here, it's like low fuel. And I was like, but she'll work. Basically just feathered out the top and the bottom side. It's just a little turkey track. I put a lot of gravel down though. Just had to cut away a lot of dirt. But just for a Can-Am, I mean, should be fine. Easy peasy. And one of our last crossings. I feel like a real estate agent. I don't know what I feel like. I feel like a kid showing his mom his homework. Look what I can do. This is by far, well, tied with the 6x4 crossing, one of the tougher crossings. This one was the only culvert we had to put in because it just had so much runoff and so much water flowing through here. So we couldn't do it the poor man's way. We had to go get ourselves a culvert and put a bunch of gravel down. Yeah, and I was thinking when we picked it up how big it was. But, all right, go check it out.
I want to have a peek.
The last one to show off to you guys. It's a lot of work. Got a couple excavators, a couple skid steers, and a lot of hours to make just access on this place. But we're done. We should be good. And every year we might just have to touch everything up a little bit. But besides that, she's ready.